Good evening and welcome to a new episode of your weekly show, Business Insider, where we bring you the latest when it comes to the economy and finances. We start off the show with the latest economic and financial top stories. Starting off with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Monday receiving the British Petroleum Chief's Executive Officer Bernard Looney. The President appreciated the corporation's growing activities and investments in Egypt, saying it significantly contributes to oil and gas drilling and production, which enhances efforts to turn Egypt into a regional hub for energy production and trading. President el-Sisi also stressed that the state attaches top priority to the participation of both global corporation and private sectors in oil, gas and renewable energy sectors. For his part, the CEO of the BP Corporation asserted that the company's 60-year-old strategic partnership with Egypt is pivotal, hailing the country's development boom, particularly in energy and infrastructure. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi held a meeting on Sunday with Prime Minister Mostafa and the Minister of Trade and Industry, Ahmed Samir. Presidential spokesman said the meeting followed up on the national strategy for industry development and the future vision to increase growth rates of the industrial sector, raise its shares in the gross domestic product, and to enhance industrial exports in quality and quantity. The meeting reviewed updates in efforts to establish integrated industrial complexes and zones and to support manufacturing industries, especially in priority fields. President el-Sisi said efforts to advance the Egyptian industry should be enhanced, describing it as the main driver for comprehensive economic progress and the leader of development across all sectors. The president also added that the industrial private sector should be enabled through removing obstacles that hinder its activities and creating suitable environments for its progress and providing incentives to industrial investments. Chairman of the Suez Canal Economic Zone, the Walid Gemaluddin, announced on Sunday that the new Chinese investment in the field of textiles are taking place in Ain al-Sukhna district in the Suez Canal Economic Region. In a business conference, Gemaluddin said that a number of investment contracts were recently signed in the SC zone with Chinese international firms, including Caddy Textile Company, which is investing in Tida City to establish a group of textile factories. He added that after the SC zone has become attractive to investors, China's Tida Corporation, as one of the oldest industrial developers in the zone, has been developing the area of 7 square kilometers in Ain al-Sukhna district. The SC Zone chief hailed Tida's work in the Suez Canal Economic Region, saying that it attracted 68 enterprises in different categories, including Joshi, a fiberglass giant from China, adding that the textile company signed an investment contract with a total worth of $60 million to establish a group of textile factories for production, dyeing and printing all types of fabrics, including home textile fabrics and elastic weaving. And our final story is Prime Minister Mohamed chairing the weekly cabinet meeting on Wednesday on several files. The cabinet agreed to establish a BRICS unit at the government headquarters in New Alamein City to deal with means of boosting cooperation with the bloc's members. The meeting tackled the Premier's participation in the BRICS summit on behalf of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in South Africa, during which an invitation for Egypt to join the bloc starting January 24th was announced. 2024 was announced. Meanwhile, Madbouli asserted the importance of upgrading the airports of Alamein and Burj Al Arab to meet the flow of tourists and visitors from around the world and pointed out the efforts exerted to turn the new city into a tourist destination all year round. That was the end of the top stories. We're going to take a short break and move on with the next segment of the show. Welcome back to the second segment of the show, where we're going to be discussing national universities and their role in higher education and improving the economic situation as well in Egypt. We're joined this evening by Dr. Mostafa Mohamed, the Director of the International Cooperation and Research in Galila University. Good evening to you, ma'am.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk a lot about the universities and their uses. But first, we're going to take a look at a report about the Egyptian government plans to expand the establishment of national universities to achieve an unprecedented boom in university education here in Egypt. Let's take a look.
The government has a plan to expand the establishment of national universities to achieve an unprecedented boom in university education in Egypt. This is due to the government's belief in the importance of the national universities in providing modern education that responds to the needs of the local and international labor market. The Ministry of Higher Education had announced that 12 newly established non-profit national universities would begin operation during the 2022-2023 academic year starting in October. The announcement only 1 year after President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi directed the government to establish and finance 15 modern non-profit universities. The new universities have so far been funded to the tune of £39 billion, more than $2 billion. Sisi's directives aim to upgrade the higher education system in Egypt and focus on modern sciences and scientific fields that could prepare graduates for the modern labor market, whether inside the country or abroad. The tuition and fees at the new universities would be equal to the cost of providing the educational service. These universities are not seeking profit but are partnered with public universities, helping to support them financially by transferring their surplus operating budget to them. The new universities will offer scholarships to outstanding students according to varying criteria. The government has planned to establish these new non-profit universities, branching off from the public universities due to the demand for new educational programs that meet the needs of non-traditional labor market. The new fourth-generation universities are designed to provide higher education for the developmental needs of inhabitants of the country's newly built cities. Egypt has succeeded in building 15 new fourth-generation cities, and there are plans still underway to build more to absorb the country's population increase and create more real estate and developmental opportunities. The new universities are located in the governorates of Asyut, Mansoura, Minya, Menofia, Ismailia, Bani Suif, and Port Said. This is in addition to those earlier established in El Alamein, Suez, and Ras Sidr. They will offer several specializations, including medicine, dentistry, information technology, clinical pharmacy, engineering, and artificial intelligence.
Welcome back again, Dr. Mostafa Mohamed, Director of the International Cooperation and Research at Galilei University. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
It's my pleasure.
Firstly, can you tell us a bit about your work with Galilei University and what does the term international cooperation actually mean?
Okay, I'm currently the Director of the International Collaboration Sector. We are working more toward the globalization and internationalization of our education system in Egypt. At Galilei University, we are working with, powered by Arizona State University, which is making different dual degrees that the students are going to have equal certificates, one from Galilei University and the other one from the Arizona State University. We have different programs. Students, they have access to the platforms of different international universities like Arizona State Universities and other universities also, which are powered by an educational organization called Sintana. We have different dual programs like in engineering, artificial intelligence, in business, in computer science. And that's in the education. In research, most of the professors, they have different international collaborative grants with different countries like United States of America, US, different universities in US. They have in UK like Birmingham University. Similarly with Korea, with different, it's like international wise. We are trying to reach with our education system and our research like different countries all over the world.
So what's the importance of having postgraduate studies and higher education when it comes to research, like having a master's with research-based techniques or a PhD, for instance? How does this help in the advancement of the Egyptian student and therefore the advancement of a nation?
I think this is a more general question because the national universities are still young. It's 3 years old. We did not graduate students. We have only undergrads. We don't have postgraduates, which are the PhD or master degree students. But Egypt has it's #1 in publication in scientific research in Africa right now. We have smart students. and I'm sure my students or our students and Egyptian students, they are competitive. They can, they can compete with different students all over the world, whatever the type of research. My field mainly it's clinical research or breast cancer research. That's how I'm working. And even in the artificial intelligence, we have a lot of publications. We have scientists which are the top 2% all over the world in chemistry, in artificial intelligence. They have high citation. But still we need the support, and more support, because it's, that scientific research needs grants, funds, and support to continue, to be able to publish.
Yes, we're speaking actually off air about your research and how this has actually helped the Cairo University to get a higher ranking. How significant is it for students to provide certain research, and why is it important to have a university ranking increase?
Okay, I'll tell you a story from the beginning. In 2004, I have been selected by the American Association of Cancer Research and Avon Foundation to spend more than 2 years postdoc in the United States. I have my postdoc at Wayne State University, Detroit, Michigan. And then I was back in 2006 with Nature publication. Nature publication is considered, as a first author, it's considered like it gives the university ranking like Nobel Prize. And at this time, it was Dr. Hussam Kamel, president of Cairo University, and I established my lab at Cairo University with Dr. Shinawi, who's currently the president of Galala University. He's a surgeon. I'm working breast cancer research. That's my fellowship during this time. And I have my lab. I have more than 50 students graduated from different universities with PhD and master degree. And all my research in breast cancer research. And this year, in January, we established a patient-derived explant model, and it was the first worldwide. And it was published in a very high-ranked journal, which is high impact factor, by the name of Cairo University and Galana University. That's.
The Ministry of Higher Education has announced that, like you were saying, that there are a number of universities that have opened up that are relatively young, and they're non-profit national universities. Why is it significant to increase the number of universities, and what are the expectations for these universities when it comes to students graduating from it?
We have a lot of students that still, even if you are increased, we have a lot of students which are graduated from high school. That's increased the needs of the national universities. Besides, a lot of parents, they are thinking how to send their students abroad to study, but now we can offer them this service here in Egypt. Services, because they can have the dual degree program. They can have the same certificate from United States as if they are graduated from US, like Arizona State University. And they have the transcript, which means that they have the same, how they studied the course similar to that in Arizona State University without being traveling. It's saving money for parents, and also, that it's better for our children and to stay here, because we need them as well. Because most of them, if they leave, it's hard to be.
Effect, basically.
It's hard to be back.
Yes.
Because it's not because they didn't like to be back, but they are well established. I trust our students and the Egyptian students. They are smart. That's why we need them.
Postgraduate, I know it's still early, like you were saying, it's only been 2 years, but are there expectations for how to deal with the students once they've graduated from universities? Will the university, like for instance, in the United States and in the UK, they offer students help after university to help them find jobs or placements. Is this something that can be offered to Egyptian students as well, so that they can find work suitable for their degrees?
Yeah, it's already offered.
Yes.
Yeah, we have at Galala University, we have like different internship. I have students who have internship in one of the American companies for like 120 hours. And this will help them to be in the map of the research. And that's what we are trying to give them, the opportunity to study here in Egypt, and also to have like international communications. Because if you want to travel, they are certified to work abroad. They can have the license. Even we are working to have license for different programs, like the laboratory medicine or whatever, to work in Canada and US. That's why we're trying to have different license, so that student, when he's graduated from Galala University, he can work anywhere with this license. It's approved.
That's amazing. That's excellent. What also is interesting is you were telling me that one of the focuses of these universities, only mainly science, but what's interesting is artificial intelligence. I mean,
Yeah.
most universities look at just like computer sciences or something to do with engineering, but not specifically artificial intelligence. Why was this targeted?
It's not specifically, you know, I have a publication with one of the best scientists in artificial intelligence, Dr. Mohamed. He was working in breast cancer, and how he diagnosing the patients, the slides of the its tissue slides with the artificial intelligence. That it's interdisciplinary. How we are working with different fields like medicine, artificial intelligence, engineering. It's more not interdisciplinary fields. They are working together, and this is the development of the research worldwide. I cannot work without the help of different computer science like biomedical informatics. It makes a lot of difference now. You can identify, especially after the COVID, which genes are responsible or which proteins are responsible for the disease and how to target them. That's with the help of the development of artificial intelligence and computer science and all those fields.
What are the expectations for these universities, especially when it comes to science? Like you were saying, that there are a lot of things that or factors that affect how science is created. Is there some sort of support from the Ministry of Higher Education to create a research hub, if you would like to say, for the Middle East when it comes to medical research, whereby Egypt could at one point be a leader when it comes to creating new techniques in medicine or even creating pharmaceuticals?
Yeah, that's at Galala University. We are working in that to establish like specific national, the National Academy of Science and specific Center of Excellence for Research in the Middle East. We have the support in the equipments, but still there are agents. It's, you know, that's because of the economic crisis all over the world. It's still, we are waiting for more support, but we have very advanced equipments which are, I'm not biased to Galala, but it's not in big universities in the US. Honestly, we have, it's very well equipped as a university. It's very well equipped. We have the advanced, very advanced devices and equipments which we can use in different fields, not only in the biomedical or medical fields, even engineering and everything.
Okay. When it comes to education as well, we were speaking earlier about the fact that there are a number of different students from different lifestyles, from different governments and so forth. What kind of support could you provide for people? Because these people are from very different places, very different backgrounds. What kind of support could you provide for them?
We have different supports. We have the educational support, emotional support. At Galala, we are working as a family with the students because they are living there. It's the residents. They have the dorms. They feel how much they are belonging to the place, especially the third year, which are going to be the fourth year, the first generation of Galala University. We are providing whatever support, even the financial support. There is different companies which are helping the students if they have any troubles in the finance. It's mainly Galala. It's like student-centered education, hands-on education. Students have to do everything with their hands. They have to be in the field. They have to go and be back and discuss with their professors. It's different. I'm not biased again, but it's completely different challenge.
Yeah, so it's basically a completely different sort of educational system to traditional universities, public universities here in Egypt. Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, it's completely different.
What about international students? Are there expectations? You were telling me that international students are accepted.
Yeah, we accept international students through study in Egypt. That they have to apply, and then we accept depending on what type of fields they are applying for and where are they coming from, and the high school or whatever. It's a different system, but we are accepting international students, and we expect more.
So, is there like a 10-year plan for creating? Because like for instance, the U.S. Part of its income or resources come from international students coming in to study at different universities like Harvard or Stanford or whatever it is. Do you think that Egypt could also offer this form of opportunities for our neighbors, for instance? Or
it's unfair competition with Harvard and Stanford. But still, as Galala, as it's only 3 years old, maybe that's when we'll be at the age of Harvard and Stanford. We'll be more competitive.
Yes,
I believe in that.
But this is the actual hope that
that's what we are planning. Especially, we have a long way plan, and it depends on the Ministry of Higher Education plan to 2030, and we have our plan, also research plan. But it's our plan that we have we have to look forward how it's going to improve and develop our education system, the research, how to keep our children, our students here in Egypt, because they are smart enough. How the globalization, how they can go and be back, how they learn how to, they are still connected to their country.
Yes.
That's what we are working on that.
Yes. Well, since we're talking about globalization, is there some sort of program for student exchange, like a year abroad for these students as well?
Yeah, we have a lot of them, and we have one of the students just accepted for the semester abroad in Hiroshima University in Japan, and we have different students. They travel to Romania like for 3 weeks doing experiments, 16 or 17 from biotechnology. That's what we are doing our best for student exchange, to send them like semester abroad or 1 year abroad and then be back. Whatever, that's what we are working at.
Can I go back to the research idea? I mean, does the university, or not necessarily the university, does the Ministry of Higher Education provide grants for students who want to further study something like, say, in archaeology or medicine, or can they provide grants?
We have graduation projects that the ASRT, the Academy of Science and Research Technology, they provide for the students so that they can apply, and we have we have in biotechnology, we have 3 grants for the students, and they are working on their graduation projects. Students also can apply for international, and we can support them for international grants to support their research or whatever graduation, because they have to do graduation projects, especially in the, in the practical faculties like medicine, like nursery, like dentistry, and we have different support for that.
So what are the expectations when it comes to bettering the country? I know that the plan of the government in general is to improve the education system in Egypt and so forth, specifically when it comes to higher education. Why is this important in improving a nation?
It's how you exist. That's the research and education. It proves how you exist here and all over the continent. That's how you are doing well. That's your ranking. When I tell you that Egypt is #1 in scientific research and publications in Africa, that's competing with South Africa and with different MENA region, the Middle East, North Africa, and whatever. It's very important. It's very important. Although we have like little bit limited resources compared to other countries, no, we have our. We have our name in the field of research. That's what I believe.
So is cooperating with other universities, you were talking about like different universities cooperating with Egyptian universities, does this help boost the capabilities of a university to deal with whatever issues that students may have given like the limited resources?
Yeah, sure. Collaboration is very important with international universities. Exposure of the student to different culture is very important. Students should trust themselves. They travel abroad, that they can do the experiments they are doing. That's if I'm talking about the medicine or whatever. Yes. Those who are working even in artificial intelligence, in biomedical informatics, in whatever, in engineering, in different fields. I don't want to miss any of them. We are trying to prepare that at Galala University students, which are trustable. They are competing. They know well that they have specific education or different type of education, which if you compare with other universities in Egypt.
Okay, unfortunately we're out of time for today's episode. I'm so happy that you came with us on the show and showed us how important Galala University is.
I enjoyed talking with you.
So
Thank you very much.
This was Dr. Mostafa Mohamed, the Director of International Cooperation and Research at Galala University. It was an absolute pleasure having you tonight.
Thank you.
And this brings us to the end of this episode of Business Insider, but stay tuned for more here on Nile TV.